Welcome to the Trill NBA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Anuha, aka the Trillest NBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday. Another week. We made it. I don't know about y'all, but whew. You know, I try really, really hard to be very hopeful, but it's hard, y'all. This is hard. The funny thing I realize is that even though we have said as Black women collectively on these internets that we are tired of doing the emotional labor, we are tired of trying to educate y'all. The fact still remains that because of the Black excellent gene embedded deep within the DNA that at times of crisis gets activated, we just can't help ourselves. So we are out here. We are working. I don't know one friend that isn't spending additional energy to get all these folks together, whether it be sharing your voice on social media, sharing your voice in these meetings, sharing your voice in these streets. We are working and we are loud and we will be heard. And that's exhausting. But we continue on because if we don't do it, who gonna do it? Who gonna do it? So this week, y'all, I experienced a microaggression. And y'all know Harriet, man. First of all, Harriet was woke before all this shit. But now, Harriet, like, extra woke. Like, whatever that little gene deep down in her little white DNA, the little Black gene in there, it got activated too. And so, because of that, this was the first time that I actually was able to articulate and open up to my manager the microaggression that was happening in real time. And I remember the first time I tried to tell my boss, like, hey, I don't think I'm being treated fairly here, or hey, something seems off. And I remember getting my hand slapped and saying I was overly sensitive and I wasn't going to make it in corporate America if I didn't, have a better emotional EQ. And if I didn't have emotional intelligence and I needed to grow up and mature. Oh, I'm mature now. And so now I got the words to articulate the bullshit. So I wrote, my Leah, I sent her a 4-page letter via email to explain. And the crazy thing, y'all, as I was writing out the explanation of what was happening, I second guessed myself because I'm like, okay, maybe, but I'm like, no, because see, that's where the problem is. And so what I want you guys to do is the next microaggression you experience, I want you to lay it out in the steps of how you're perceiving it. Because when you lay it out step by step, it starts to become more visible and more tangible, something you can really see and touch. See, the problem with microaggressions is that we are taught, right? Like it's in every corporate culture. Oh, give your coworkers the benefit of the doubt. Assume positive intent. And at the crux of the positive intent is the sinisterness of microaggressions. Because microaggressions play into the fact that even though you slighted me, even though you disrespected me, I am supposed to give you the benefit of the doubt. But I think the core test for a microaggression is, if the shoes were reversed, what feedback would I get if I exhibited this behavior? And so what I told my boss was, this particular coworker, what they've done is a lack of attention to detail and a lack of inclusion. And so easily that can be written off as, oh, give them the benefit of the doubt. We got a lot going on. Role sorts are confusing. Oh, they just didn't know, blah, blah, blah. But now, if you flip that on the other side for the expectation of me, the woman, the Black woman, the woman of color, are you going to give me the feedback that I need to pay attention to detail if I did this? What is your expectation of me versus the expectation of my colleague? If I did this, what feedback would you give me? And it's like, yeah, because I don't expect you to do this shit. Exactly. You don't expect me to do this shit. And if you don't expect me to do this shit, then it should not be acceptable for her or him to do that shit. That's the test. Okay, boss, you give me the benefit of the doubt if I did that? Well, nah, because nigga, you know better. But Harriet, in all her freedom fighterness, she was like, "Yeah, no, we gotta have this conversation. We're gonna figure this out. Let's work together." I was like, "What?" Because my position was, "Hey, I gotta pick and choose my battles. I just want you to see this from my perspective. I want to give you another perspective of how these last couple of weeks and all this shit has gone down. And because it's so small, because it shouldn't mean much, because we should give the benefit of the doubt, I ain't trying to fall on this sword, right? I'm on a mission. I'm trying to be the CEO of a global Fortune 500 company. Do I have time to piddle and poke at some bullshit? No, I don't. But since we're in this moment of history, let's call a spade a spade. And so I want to encourage you that if you are going through any of those microaggressions, so somebody can't say your name right, or they can't spell your name right, or they keep not inviting you to the meeting that you're supposed to be invited to after people keep telling them, hey, this is the point person. I'm the point person. But you want somebody else as the point person because you, for whatever reason, oops, my bad, I'm sorry, I forgot. Oh my goodness. Uh-huh. Or somebody touch your hair. Or people just not playing nice in the sandbox. Trying to point out every little thing you've done wrong or trying to blame you for things. See, this is why you have to document. However, at this point in time, I want you to be super encouraged about documenting and explaining what is happening from your perspective. And the way I couched it was, hey, I get it. If I were you, I would look at this and be like, why the fuck you care? Because that's what microaggressions are. They're micro. But the thing is, they're insidious. They add up. They're like termites growing in the walls. And you only see it at the end when your house is about to fall apart. And that translates to, oh, now I'm talent of color and I'm about to leave because I'm tired of this shit. Because you've literally eaten away at my foundation, at my core, with all these little bites. Just take away from me until I can't stand it anymore. And this paycheck is no longer worth my humanity. And so I leave. But now, at this moment, I want you guys to articulate the thing, no matter how small it is. You know what it is. Articulate it. Write it down. Make it plain. And say, hey, it's so easy for us to forgive. But when this happens over and over and over and over and over again from the same people, it's a problem. It's detrimental. It's detrimental to my physical health, my mental health, my emotional health. It's detrimental. And I should not be subjected to trauma in the workplace every day. And so we have to start standing up for ourselves. And this is our time. And you may be uncomfortable. They may be uncomfortable. We all gonna be uncomfortable right now. Point blank period. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because in our discomfort is the only way we're going to fix it. The other thing that I want you guys to work on, outside of documenting and sharing microaggressions you're experiencing in real time, is boundaries. Dear God, please grant us the strength to say no. And here's the thing about exercising boundaries. Here's the key. The key is just do it. Don't have to explain it. Don't have to say it. Just do it, Felicia. What the hell you mean? Point number 1. If you have a manager or coworker calling you outside of normal business hours, interrupting your personal time, your safe space, and your peace, don't respond. Don't answer the phone. Nothing you do, unless you're actually in the medical field, unless you picking up that phone will save a life. Nothing we do in corporate America really saves lives. If anything, low key, we probably killing some motherfuckers. So, I mean, it's not that urgent and it's not that important. And here's your test to really understand if it's that important. Your boss is like, oh, I need, cut the phone off. Don't answer. Email off, phone off. Any way they can get a hold of you, cut it off. To the point where if it's that urgent, they gonna pull up at your house. And then you can look them in their motherfucking face and say, what the fuck is wrong with you coming to my motherfucking house about a data pool that could have been done in the fucking morning? Nothing, and I mean nothing, is so important that it can't wait till the next business day. Nothing. Set your boundary for yourself and you quietly keep it for yourself. You set the boundary in your actions, not your words. You can't tell somebody, hey, I'm going to block my calendar off. Here. Please respect that. No, that's not how that works. That's like telling the kid, don't touch that. What they going to do? They going to touch it. What you got to do is you block your calendar, and then the times you have blocked, disappear. That's what you do. And then they come back, oh, well, I tried to get a hold of you, and you weren't there, and oh my God. And you can say, yeah, because I told you that time was blocked. Okay. Taking care of myself. I meant that. And they'll get the point. Like I had a friend tell me he had a VP was texting and asking for stuff. He was at dinner and all late into the night, and he just ignored it. And so then he came in the next day, and the VP was like, well, didn't you see? I was trying to get a hold of you, and blah, blah. And he was like, oh, what time was that? Well, it was like 7 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And so, oh, after core business hours? Yeah. So I'll get to what you need today, right now. And that person ain't never tried to contact them again after 5 o'clock. Mm-hmm. That's how that works. When they confront you about your boundary, it's like, oh, well, that's after core business hours. I was doing my personal life things, taking care of myself. And if they have a problem with it, you can say, well, we have a conversation with HR if you'd like about what the policy is. Because I guarantee you, especially right now, there is no policy that says your manager has 24/7 access to you. I don't even think doctors have that. And they actually save people's lives. You are not a doctor. Unless, well, you are really a doctor listening to my show. And if so, hey, girl, hey. Thank you for all that you do, girl. Stay safe. But come on, y'all. If your job is mainly PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, guess what? Ain't that important. Don't make yourself feel or seem more important than what you really are in the context of work. Because this inflated, oh my God, yes, I'm so important, so I have to. No. Because guess what? When you die of a stroke or a heart attack from all the stress of all this fake urgency and you didn't set any boundaries, guess what? Before your obituary goes into the newspaper, on the career site, your job will be posted. They will replace you, okay? They will replace you with a quickness. And you be dead. You still be at the morgue. They be interviewing. You ain't even in ground yet. They done found somebody. They done took an internal hire. And for a lot of us, they done replaced you with 3 people. That's the one that pissed me off the most. When you leave a company and they replace you with 3 people, but they've been telling you that maybe this isn't the role for you. Or maybe, maybe something's wrong that you can't keep up with the work of 3 fucking people. Ooh, child. I try so hard not to have PTSD on this show, but shit. And again, y'all, if y'all don't have a therapist, get a therapist. Because you got to process this shit and you got to move forward from it. But you can't run from it. You got to sit in it, deal with it, break it apart, understand it, and get actionable, positive ways to move forward. And I don't know if that's something we can really do on our own, right? Like, we all need help. So, the last thing, ask for help, y'all. Pride goeth before the fall. It just does. I know I done got all off track this season. We're supposed to be doing corporate warrior spotlights, and there's a lot of y'all doing big things, and I'm so proud of us that even in the Rona can't stop us. Institutionalized systemic racism can't stop us. I mean, we're just out here, being great despite knees on our necks. Y'all keep doing the damn thing. I'ma work to get it together. I just want y'all to be encouraged and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. Anything. You want to be a CEO? Put your mind to it. Get your allies up. Speak up. Say that's what you want. Don't be afraid. Don't hide from it. You can do it. You really, really can do this. And we need you to do it. So, let's get after it, y'all. We're going to have a great week. We're going to get these checks. We're going to bring our other sisters up behind us. This is the time. Don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Go right into all of your greatness. Cry when you have to, but wipe your tears and dust yourself off and keep going, okay? And I'm going to do the same. So I love y'all, and I'll holler at y'all next week. The Trill NBA Show is a Fair World Corp. LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Inuha. Sound design and editing by Chris Mann with Podshaper. Theme music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.